everyone. I wrote a short story a few days ago that I wanted to share with you all. It's called A Tough Guy's Christmas Cookies. This is a story about a man who has the solution to deal with difficult people on Christmas. He calls it the Tough Guy's Christmas Cookies. No, it's not a beating. It is actually a tough guy's physical Christmas cookies that he made himself at home. But when he tries to give the solution to someone who takes everything too literally, it becomes a silly persuasion that both the tough guy and the literal guy will have a good laugh about after getting him to stop thinking the tough guy is going to beat him up. Let me know what you all think of this story. So without further ado, I give you the best Christmas present, A Tough Guy's Christmas Cookies. There is always something you can do to bring the joy of Christmas to everyone. You can give to the less fortunate, you can volunteer in your community, you can even prepare homemade gifts for local residents. Personally, I like to make something from scratch. I always find that it is better to make something with your own hands than to give expensive gifts that will not see much use after the first year. To share what you have made amongst everyone, to see their faces cry and hear them sniffle when getting such a gift from someone who has a tough exterior but also a heart full of gold and an essence full of kindness. This year, there happens to be a few people who are in need of one of my special homemade gifts. Hard, hot, and basking with flavor that will make your teeth crunch. Ask anyone who has ever had what I made, and they will say it was like having something fast and sweet with a touch of warm gratification. Too bad I can't tell you what it is, as the recipe is a secret. The only problem is telling people that they need something like this, or else they'll be seeing a lot of me during this month. With a positive step, and with more to give to those not aware, I step out into the cold December night and carry forth the goal of sharing these warm treats snuggled into the pockets of my hands. The first few people were surprised at my straightforwardness when I presented them with one of my handouts, but once I showed them what I had, they quickly turned and accepted with eager agreement. Seeing their expressions always amazes me. Going around and giving to everyone I see, I haven't heard even one stutter. One instance where they were caught off guard, but it has been mostly a joyous reaction. But with all this walking, I intended to give myself one so I can have the energy to keep giving them until all have been given away. And I go back home with an empty case and a wonderful feeling of accomplishment. I see that there is still one more left to give. One more lonely Christmas cookie. The big question right now is, who really needs this? The streets are buzzing with half of the activity that I saw earlier tonight. No, it looks like I will need to search for this person and let them know that this tough guy has something that will make them feel like they have been touched by one of Saint Nick's workers. Where is my last giver? It isn't like I will hear them at this moment's notice. Exhaling, I kept walking until I bumped into someone who got distracted. Luckily, I didn't get anything on me or have the special Christmas treat ruined. Taking a good look at the person who bumped into me, I saw that he was a normal but slightly shorter than me average guy. Brown hair, wearing a large winter coat with jeans and boots. He looked a bit sad, like he had a random reason that didn't need to explain his sadness. I asked him, "Why the long face?" "It's the holidays! Be happy! Take in the warmth and joy!" He just looked at me with these sad eyes, and like a minute ago, didn't want to give a specific reason for why he was sad. He just looked away, made his way past me, and kept walking like I was another person across from him on any other day. With no doubt in mind, I had found my last giver to give this hot Christmas gift to. Preparing myself for what could be a long while of playing catch-up, I pursued him. I try to remember what he looked like. After a brief search, I find him, but when he looks at me, he is surprised and quickly walks away. This trend continues for the next several minutes, and every time he sees me, he scampers off. My gift and my shoes are starting to get cold. I try to think of a way to get my intent through to him. Finally, I decided to go with the good old around the corner surprise. Taking a turn at the other end where he went off, I moved as fast as I could, and anticipating that he would bump into me, I turned to the left and boop! He walked right into me. He was scared and wondered why I kept following him. He closed his eyes thinking that I would hurt him, but that was the farthest thing I had in mind. When he didn't feel anything from me, he opened his eyes and looked at me in disbelief. Until I reached into the front of my coat pocket, and just as he was about to shout thinking that something worse was going to happen, I held out my hand, closed and waited to uncurl it. He was confused for a moment, but I showed him what a tough guy like me wanted to give him. A beautifully baked and warm, right out of the oven Christmas cookie! He was bewildered. He thought for sure I was going to hurt him, but that was never my intention. Go on. Try it! I urged him in an excited way. He looked unsure, but seeing how I was still watching him, he took a nibble of the warm cookie I gave him. And in that moment, his eyes lit up. Not like grand, but lit up like you were glad you got something to eat after a long day of work. He took a few more bites, and then he was shyly looking away, almost like he was asking me for another. I told him that if he would be around on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I would give him another. He nodded, and went on his way, and soon I lost sight of him amongst the crowd. Now that all these tough guys' cookies were gone, all that was left to do was bake another batch, and find some more mopey, downtrodden people to find, and give them something that only a tough guy on Christmas can give them. A hot, unexpected, and crunchy feeling straight to the face and down to the gut with a pinch of cinnamon. It's Christmas cookies, so cheer up! I got one waiting for you. Anyway, that was my short story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you all in the next video. Happy December!